when we multiply two fractions, we need to multiply their numerators and their denominators together. So 4 times 3 is 12 over 5 times 5, which is 25. I don't need to do anything else with this fraction because it is in its simplest form. Now, in the second example, I have 3/5 times 5/7. What I see is that I can cross-divide both fractions by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. So my final answer, so now I'm dealing with smaller numbers. I have 3 times 1 equals 3, and 1 times 7 equals 7. Another way to do it is to do what I told you to do in the first example. I can, let me write it down again, 3/5 times 5/7. It is okay to just multiply the numerators together and the denominators together, and I end up with 15 over 35. And then I need to simplify the fraction. So I see that both numbers can be divided by 5, and I end up with my final answer, which is 3/7. So there are two ways to get to the same answer. If you don't want to deal with large numbers, it's better to cross-divide. So in the third example, I have 9/10 times 5/3. I can see that I can cross-divide on both sides. So I see that if I divide both 9 and 3 by 3, I get 3 here and 1 here. Now I have 5 and 10. Both can be divided by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now I multiply the numbers that I just wrote. 3 times 1 is 3 over 2 times 1, which is 2. Now I need to leave my answer as a mixed number. So I'm going to convert 3/2 into a mixed number. How many times does 2 go into 3? It goes 1 time. And I have 1 left over, so I'm going to write it over the denominator. When we multiply fractions by whole numbers, it's best to write the whole number as a fraction. I can always write 5 as a fraction over 1. And now I'm ready to multiply my numerators and my denominators together. So 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. I'm going to convert this fraction into a mixed number now. How many times does 3 go into 10? It goes 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And I have 1/3 left over. Now let's look at the second example. 3/4 times 12. I'll put my 12 over 1. And now I can see that I can cross-divide. Both 4 and 12 can be divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now I multiplied my numerators. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. So I end up with 9 ones, which is the same as 9. If I multiply with mixed numbers, I need to first convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. So, as we can see, the first fraction is a common fraction, so I don't need to do anything with it. And now I need to convert 1 and 1/8 to an improper fraction. So 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9/8. Now that I have my both fractions as improper fractions, I can see that I can cross divide. So both 3 and 9 can be divided by 3. 2 and 8 can be divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I see that I have 1 times 3 left over 1 times 4. So my answer is 3/4. In the second example, I have two mixed numbers. So I will convert 1 and 1/4 first. I multiply, and then I add. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5 over 4 times, now I'm converting the other one. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12 over 5. Okay, let's see if I can cross divide anything. Yes, so I divide both 5s by 5, and I end up with 1s. 12 and 4 have 4 in common, so 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So what do I have left? 1 times 3 is 3 over 1 times 1, 1. So my answer is 3 1s, which is the same as 3. Okay, so in order to divide fractions, you will need to know how to find a reciprocal of a fraction. So if you want to find the reciprocal, you need to invert the fraction. Flip it upside down. So the reciprocal of 3/4 will be 4/3. The reciprocal of 2 and 1/3 will be a little bit different. Before I flip this fraction upside down, I need to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 3. So 2 and 1/3 is the same as 7/3. But if I then want to find the reciprocal of that fraction, I need to flip it. And now my answer is 3/7. If I have 8, it's best to put if you have a whole number, it's best to put it over 1. And now I know that if I want to flip 8 ones, I will get 1/8. So 1/8 is the reciprocal of 8. Okay, so in order to divide two fractions, you need to multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. You can use a formula that, a mnemonic that's called leave me alone. So we leave the first fraction alone. Change my name, which is changing division to multiplication, and turn me upside down, which means the same as find the reciprocal of 3/8. So it's 8/3. So I left the first fraction alone, changed division to multiplication, and flipped the second fraction upside down. So my answer will be 3 times 8, which is 24, and 7 times 3 is 21. And then I can turn it into a mixed number. How many times does 21 go into 24? It's 1, and I have 3 21s left over. Then I can simplify this fraction. So it's the same as 3 and 1, 7. Another thing I could do is I could have, when I have my 3 7s times 8/3, I could have cross-divided. So divide by 3 is 1, and divide by 3 is 1. I end up with 8 times 1, which is 8, over 7. And my answer as a mixed number is 1 and 1/7. So I get the same answer. Now, in the second example, I need to first change the first number to an improper fraction. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I get 7 over 2. Then I change the name of the operation, change division to multiplication, and then I put 2 over 1, and I flip it, and I get 1/2. So I end up with 7/2 times 1/2. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I need to change this number into a mixed number. How many times does 4 go into 7? Once. And I have 3/4 left over.